All right, let's stretch our minds one more step.
Ajde još jedan korak da jel proširimo dobar izraz, to mi se ne sviđa.
I long
Otvorimo
to get a bigger picture of the sanctuary.
Dakle, veću sliku još svetinje da dobijemo, još grandiozniju sliku.
And so I asked the question, what was the original sanctuary in the universe?
Koja je prvobitna svetinja u svemiru, univerzumu? Prva, pre svih, dakle, originalna. In heaven.
Okay, the heavenly sanctuary, yes?
Nebeska svetinja, da.
And already when God told Moses to build the earthly sanctuary.
I već kad je Bog rekao Mojsiju da sagradi zemaljsku svetinju,
Exodus 25 verse 8.
Dakle, 2. Mojsijeva 25:8.
He says, "Let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them."
Da mi načine svetinje da među njima nastavam.
And the very next verse, verse 9.
Sljedeći 9. stih.
He says, "See that you make it like the copy that I show you on the mountain."
Vidi da to načiniš kao kopiju, dakle ono što sam ti pokazao na planini, na gori.
And the word here is tavnit.
A reč je tavnit.
Which implies a copy of an original.
A ta reč tavnit implicira kopiju originala. To nije original, to je kopija originala.
And so Moses was shown a miniature model, please.
Tako da je Mojsiju pokazan minijaturni model originala.
A copy of the original heavenly
Kopija jedna
sanctuary.
izvesna originala.
Now we get a few glimpses of this heavenly sanctuary in the Bible.
A imamo i nekoliko naznaka o nebeskoj svetinji u Bibliji.
Help me think of a few passages where we get a glimpse into the heavenly sanctuary.
Pomozite mi koji to tekstovi govore o uvidu u nebesku svetinju. He says that there's in a psalm one verse that says that God will judge from his sanctuary.
All right, yes. In fact, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, at least 10 psalms that speak about the heavenly sanctuary.
10 psalama najmanje govori o nebeskoj svetinji.
Psalm 11, verse 4.
11:4.
18:6.
18:6.
60, verse 6. 108, verse 7.
66, 108:7.
63, verse 2.
63:2.
68, verse 35.
68:35.
102, verse 19.
102:19.
150, verse 1.
150, prvi stih.
And this one, Psalm 11:4, specifically indicates that God will judge, investigative judgment from the heavenly sanctuary.
Ovaj prvi stih je taj koji je Goran spomenuo da će Bog suditi iz nebeske svetinje.
Now, when I first started my doctoral studies at Andrews,
Kad sam počeo doktorat na Andrewsu,
my major professor, Dr. Hazel, gave me an assignment in my first class.
moj glavni profesor, dr. Hazel, mi je dao jedan zadatak.
He says, "Dick, I want you to write a paper on the heavenly sanctuary in the Old Testament outside of Daniel."
Želim da mi napišeš rad o nebeskoj svetinji u Starom Zavetu izvan Danila.
And I thought to myself, what will I write? There's nothing about the heavenly
A ja sam
sanctuary
pomislio,
outside
po
of
čemu
Daniel.
ja tu da pišem? Pa tu nema o čemu da se piše.
I thought that should be easy, maybe one or two texts.
To su 1-2 teksta, to će biti lako.
Well, at the end of that paper, I had written 80 pages
Na kraju sam napisao 80 strana
and found dozens of passages.
i našao sam tuce tekstova.
And now I have a doctoral student who is writing his dissertation under my guidance
A sad imam ja doktorskog studenta koji piše disertaciju pod mojim vođstvom
on the heavenly sanctuary in the Old Testament.
o nebeskoj svetinji u Starom
And he's
Zavetu.
found over 35 passages that deal with the heavenly sanctuary.
35 odlomaka je pronašao.
Here are some in the Psalms. He has
To
actually
su
found more than these.
Neki u psalmima, on je pronašao još mnogo više.
What are some other texts that give us a a vision in the heavenly sanctuary.
Koji
in the
su
Old
još
Testament.
tekstovi koji nam daju tu viziju nebeske svetinje? Okay. New Testament is included?
New, yeah, old
Može i
or
Novi
new.
Zavet, može i Novi Zavet. Ezekiel 1 to 11?
Okay, Ezekiel 1 to 11, yes.
Da.
Where God comes from the heavenly sanctuary with his movable throne. That's right. That's
Kad
good.
Bog dolazi iz nebeske svetinje sa onim
And then in chapter
tronom
11,
na
he goes
točkovima.
back to his heavenly sanctuary. Yeah. What a,
First Chronicles, she says. Second Chronicles.
okay, Second Chronicles, heavenly sanctuary?
Ne,
About the throne.
when Solomon prayed.
Yes, that's right. It's in 1 Kings
Tačno.
chapter
To je prva carevima,
7 and 8.
7. glava,
And
8. glava,
it's parallel in 2 Chronicles. What
A
is it?
ima u
2
drugoj
Chronicles 6,
dnevnika.
I believe. Yes,
6. glava.
that's right. My doctoral student is just working on these texts right now in his dissertation.
I baš sad taj doktorski student koga imam radi na tom tekstu.
What about in Isaiah?
A Isaija?
Do you remember Isaiah 6?
Isaija 6. glava, sjećate se?
Where Isaiah goes to the earthly temple there in Jerusalem,
Kada Isaija ulazi u zemaljski hram,
and God gives him this vision of the heavenly sanctuary.
a Bog mu daje viziju nebeskog hrama.
And he sees this throne that's high and lifted up,
Vidi tron, dakle presto koji je uzdignut.
with the seraphim there around the throne.
Serafimi su oko trona.
What's a seraphim?
Šta je serafim?
The word saraf
Saraf, šta znači?
means burning ones.
To su oni koji gore. Saraf.
They are
Gorući.
so close to the divine presence that they look like they're on fire,
Toliko su blizu Bogu da izgledaju kao da su zapaljeni, vatra.
reflecting the glory of God.
Jer reflektuju slavu Božju.
And he hears the heavenly music.
Čuje i
Holy,
nebesku muziku.
holy, holy,
Svet,
Lord God
svet,
Almighty.
svet, Gospod Bog Svedržitelj.
And then he receives the cleansing from that heavenly coal from the heavenly altar.
A onda iz nebeskog oltara doživljava i očišćenje.
Here we actually have a vision of worship going on in the heavenly sanctuary.
To je vizija bogosluženja u nebeskoj svetinji.
I have a sermon I love to preach from Isaiah 6
Ja imam propoved koju volim da propovedam iz Isaije 6.
because I believe Isaiah 6 provides us a model of worship,
Jer Isaija 6 smatram da je model bogosluženja.
heavenly worship.
Nebeskog.
And if we follow that model of Isaiah 6, we will have a balanced worship experience here in our churches.
Kad bismo taj model pratili, imali bismo jedno izbalansirano bogosluženje u crkvama.
If we have time later next week, I may share some of those principles with
Ako
you.
budemo imali vremena sljedeće sedmice, podelit ćemo s vama te principe.
Then there are passages in the prophets,
A onda u prorocima,
other than Isaiah 6.
drugi, osim Isaije,
Jonah chapter 2,
Jona 2,
verse 7.
7,
Micah chapter 1.
Mihej 1, 2,
Habakkuk chapter 2,
Avakum 2,
verse 20.
20,
Zechariah 6,
Zaharija
verses 12 and 13.
6, 12 do 13.
And then, of course, Daniel.
I na kraju, naravno, Danilo.
Daniel 7, verses
7,
9 to 11,
9 do 11,
13 to 14,
13, 14
and Revelation,
i otkrivenje, mnoge vizije u otkrivenju.
but especially chapters 4 and 5,
Naročito 4 do 5, 4. i 5. glava.
and 11:19,
I 11, 19.
where we see the holy place and then the most holy place.
To je svetinja, ono je svetinja nad svetinjama.
There's also the heavenly council.
Postoji i nebeski savet postoji.
Chapter
U prvoj dnevnika, u prvoj carevima 22:18
in Second Chronicles
i druga dnevnika
18 and verse 18.
18:18.
I'm sorry, this is 22:19.
22:19. Heavenly council like Jehoshaphat problem and
Right. The heavenly, heavenly beings are gathered together. in
Dakle, to su nebeska bića koja su se sakupila zajedno. Sećate se Josafata i onog proroka koji je...
And we could add Job, chapters 1
Jov,
and 2,
1 i 2, poglavlje 1 i
where
2.
the sons of God come together to
Sinovi
meet.
Božji došli su da se sakupe.
And there are hints about the heavenly sanctuary in Genesis, chapter 28 and verse 17.
Postoje naznake o nebeskoj svetinji u prvoj Mojsijevoj.
Where there is this ladder between earth and heaven
Tu je
that Jacob sees in vision.
te merdevine koje je video jako u viziji.
And he says it's the very gate of heaven.
I on kaže, to su vrata neba.
And he calls the name of that place Bethel, house of God.
I naziva to mesto Betel, kuća Božja.
Genesis 28:17.
28:17, prva
And
Mojsijeva.
also Exodus chapter 25, Exodus 15 and verse 11,
A druga Mojsijeva 15:11 takođe.
where in the Song of Moses there's a reference to God's heavenly
Pesma
sanctuary.
Mojsijeva, tu imate referencu dakle, za nebesku svetinju.
Okay, that's just a sampling of some of the dozens of texts that we find.
Primeri mnogo tekstova koji govore.
But now I want to stretch your minds as we move backwards.
A sada da otvorimo još malo.
How far back can we go in time and still have this heavenly sanctuary?
Koliko unazad da idemo, kad je vreme u pitanju, da dođemo do nebeske svetinje?
Can we go back before sin in the universe?
Možemo li ići pre pojave greha u svemiru?
Can we?
Možemo li?
Is the heavenly sanctuary only to solve the sin problem, or did it exist even before sin?
Da li je nebeska svetinja rešenje dakle, svemirskog problema greha ili je čak i pre pojave greha postojala?
Was it before sin?
Da li je bila pre greha?
Yes. You know, this is a blessing here. When I was in Bulgaria,
Kad sam bio u ovo je blagosloveno čuti. Kad sam bio u Bugarskoj,
I would ask a question,
postavio sam ovo pitanje,
and this was yes.
a ovo je bilo da.
This was no. It
A
was
ovo je bilo
very
ne.
confusing.
To je bilo zbunjujuće. We have one Bulgarian here.
Okay,
Sašo.
so I had a hard time grasping whether it was
Imao
yes or
sam
no.
težak posao.
they
Šta je da, šta ne.
Were they shaking to tell me in my language or in their language, which was?
Kada ovako mrdaju glavom, u kom jeziku mi govore?
But this is yes for you. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
More
Okay.
Western influence.
All right.
Dakle, to je za nas da kao i za njih.
Can you think of any Bible texts that take us back even before sin?
Ajde da nađemo, da li razmišljate o nekom biblijskom tekstu koji čak i pre greha
And
govori,
reveal to us the heavenly sanctuary.
otkriva nam nebesku svetinju? Revelation?
Okay, Revelation where?
Gde u otkrivenju? Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 28.
All right, very good. These two
Odlično.
texts we usually use to think about the rise of evil,
Ova dva teksta se obično koriste za pojavu zla. Isaija 14 i Ezekiel
but
28.
they are wonderful texts that give us a glimpse to the sanctuary even before sin.
Ali ova dva teksta nam daju uvid u nebesku svetinju pre pojave greha.
Let's look first in Ezekiel 28.
Da pogledamo prvu Jezekilj 28.
Now, by the way, how do you know that this is referring to Satan and the heavenly sanctuary and not just to the king of Tyre that's mentioned in the first part of the chapter?
Uzgred budi rečeno, kako znate da je ovdje reč o Sotoni i nebeskoj svetinji, a ne o Tiru carskom u kome je u stvari reč u poglavlju?
Many scholars say that this does not refer to the heavenly sanctuary, it's just referring to the earthly king of Tyre.
Mnogi teolozi kažu ovdje nije reč o nebeskoj svetinji i Sotoni, nego o zemaljskom caru Tirskom.
My teacher at an Adventist school when I went to college taught me that
To me naučio moj adventistički profesor na koledžu.
and caused much struggle to my mind as I tried to
Izazvao je neku borbu u mom umu.
coincide that with our Adventist teaching.
I to je bio
Reconcile.
problem sa adventističkim. Will you be able to explain the whole experience of yours?
I will. I'll do that on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
U nedelju će ispričati celo to iskustvo.
Yes.
Njegov put.
That basically caused me to start doubting the authority of Ellen White, for example,
Dakle, počeo sam da sumnjam u autoritet duha proroštva,
because she definitely interprets Ezekiel and Isaiah as referring to the heavenly sanctuary.
jer ono definitivno govori da je to nebeska svetinja, Ezekije 28.
And I spent a few years in the school of the skeptics, if you please.
Nekoliko godina sam bio u školi skeptika.
And I have written up my experience in one of the issues of the Journal of Adventist Theological
U
Society.
jednom od ovih članaka u Adventističkom teološkom društvu, časopis njihov, napisao sam to iskustvo svoje.
But I began to realize that the skeptics were not studying deeply enough.
Polako sam shvatao da skeptici ne proučavaju dovoljno duboko.
They were just staying on the surface and seeing these supposed contradictions and
Oni su uvek na površini i uvek te prividne kontradikcije samo vide.
And the more deeply I dug into Scripture, the more unity I found.
Što sam dublje kopao u pismu, više jedinstva sam video.
And I found that the insights of the New Testament writers and of Ellen White onto the Old Testament were not so far-fetched after all.
Shvatio sam da uvidi novozavetnih pisaca i Ellen White nisu baš tako daleko od originalne intencije namere Starog zaveta.
Regarding Ezekiel 28 and Isaiah 14, we have a dissertation that was written at Andrews that you need to have a copy of here in your library if you don't.
Imamo
already.
disertaciju napisanu ova dva poglavlja.
Written by a Brazilian,
Brazilac.
Jose Bertolucci.
Jose Bertolucci, Brazilijanac, je napisao.
And he's written on these two texts, Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 28.
On je napisao u stvari ova dva teksta.
Unfortunately, it's not published yet.
Nije još objavljena ona.
But it's available through the through
Film.
university microfilms, yes.
Ali tamo na univerzitetu mikrofilm imaju tu disertaciju.
And he points out something very interesting with regard to Ezekiel 28.
Zanimljivu stvar je istakao u Ezekilju 28.
That when you go to verse 2,
kad idete recimo u drugi stih,
it says, Son of man, say to the prince of Tyre.
Sine čoveči, reci knezu tirskom, princ.
What, does it say prince in
No?
yours? What does
Knjaz,
it say?
knez.
Nes,
Knez.
which means what?
Ruler.
Ruler? Okay. In the English versions it says prince, but it doesn't matter what the English says. The Hebrew word is nagid.
Nije važno šta engleski kaže, ako kaže princ, nego jevrejski kaže nagid.
And
to je knez kod nas.
So, and then the next 10 verses
sljedećih 10 stihova
describe the earthly king.
Opisuju zemaljskog cara.
But when we get to verse 11,
ali u 11. stihu
it says, Moreover, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, take up a lamentation for the king of Tyre.
Sine čoveči, nariči za carem.
Now in verse 12,
sad nije više knez, nego car.
It uses the word melech.
Melek, dakle car.
Which is king.
A to je car.
Which king is this?
Koji sad car?
Is it still the earthly king?
Je to još uvijek zemaljski car?
Well, as you read on, the language that follows can hardly be applied to an earthly king.
Ako čitate dalje, teško da ovaj jezik možete primijeniti na zemaljskog cara.
It describes, verse 14, you were the anointed cherub who covers.
Ti si bio heruvim, pomazan da zaklanjaš.
And I established you on the mountain of God.
Ja te postavih, ti beše na svetoj gori Božoj.
You were verse 15, you were perfect in your ways from the day you were created till iniquity was found in you.
15. stih, savršen beše na putovima svojim od dana kad se rodi, dokle se ne nađe bezakonja.
This is language that goes far beyond an earthly king.
Daleko ovaj jezik prevazilazi zemaljskog cara.
There is a shift here in the middle of the chapter that shifts from the earthly level up to the heavenly level.
Usred poglavlja jedna promena od zemaljskog nivoa prema nebeskom nivou.
And there is actually, this whole chapter is in a chiastic arrangement.
A celo poglavlje je u hijazmu.
With the middle part of the chiasm going up into the heavenly realm.
A središnji deo hijazma ide na nebo, nebeski je deo.
And then Bertolucci points out that there is a parallel to this in the way that we find the earthly king of Israel.
A paralela, Bertolucci kaže, postoji sa zemaljskim carem Izraelja
Compared to God, the king.
u usporedbi sa Bogom carem.
Who was the first king of Israel?
Ko je prvi car Izraelja? Saul.
Saul, okay. And this was not God's original plan that they have a king.
To nije bio Božji probitni plan.
And you remember that the people said, we want a king so that we can be like the other nations.
Narod je kazao, mi hoćemo cara kao drugi narodi.
And so God says, okay, I will give you, but he doesn't use the word king.
Ali kad Bog kaže u redu, daću vam, onda ne
He says,
koristi reč car.
I will give you a nagid.
On kaže, daću vam nagid, kneza.
You find this in 1 Samuel, chapter 9,
Prva
16.
Samuilova 9.16.
Saul will be the nagid. He'll be the earthly ruler.
Saul tako je postao nagid, zemaljski vladar.
You also find it in chapter 13 and verse 14.
Isto je u 1. Samuilovoj 13.14.
The first few usages when it's speaking about the earthly king, it doesn't use the word for king, it uses this word nagid.
Dakle,
The first few times in 1 Samuel
prvih nekoliko puta u 1. Samuilovoj
where God refers to Saul, he doesn't refer to him as king, as Melech. He refers
Boga
to him as
nikad ne
Nagid.
naziva Melek car, nego nagid, knez, princ.
Who is the Melech?
Ko je Melek onda?
God is the Melech.
Bog, jedino Melek.
And you find that in 1 Samuel chapter 8 and verse 7.
8.7, u 1. Samuilovoj 8.7.
And chapter 12 and verse 12.
I 12.12.
So the one on earth that is doing the work here on earth, he's the Nagid.
Onaj koji je na zemlji, koji vlada na zemlji je nagid.
But the one behind the scenes, that's the real king, the Melech,
Ali onaj iza scene je pravi vladar, Melek, car.
he's the supernatural being.
On je van prirodno biće, nadprirodno.
In this case, it is the supernatural evil being that is behind the king of Tyre.
A ovdje imate sad model nadprirodnog zlog bića koje je iza tirskog cara.
And in this case, for Israel, it's the supernatural divine being.
U
God.
slučaju Izraelja to je bio Bog, dakle prirodno dobro, nadprirodno dobro biće.
Bertolucci goes on to point out that in Ezekiel, there's this same move from Nagid and Melech. And the earthly king is called the Nagid, and the God is called the Melech in
Dakle,
Ezekiel. Elsewhere in Ezekiel.
U Jezekilju na drugim mestima imate razliku između zemaljskog cara Izraelja Nagid i Boga Melek, dakle car.
So this chapter 28, the center of chapter 8, definitely shifts into the heavenly realm.
Dakle, centar 28. glave definitivno je promjena prema nebeskoj realnosti, carstvu.
And describes the real king, the one who is in charge of the affairs of the earthly kings.
A to je neki stvarni car koji rukovodi, upravlja zemaljskim carevima.
Especially this proud king of Tyre.
Posebno ovim ponosnim carem Tira.
The ultimate proud one is the one behind the king of Tyre.
Prvobitni, onaj krajnji ponosni car je iza tog tirskog cara.
Now, notice the description of this being before he sins. In
Opis ovog bića pre greha, pre
chapter
pada u
28
greh.
and verse 12.
28.12.
You were the seal of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty.
Ti si pečat savršenstva, pun si mudrosti, sasvim lep, pun lepote.
Now notice verse 13. You were in Eden, the garden of God.
Bio si u Edemu, vrtu Božjem. 13. stih.
And then it describes the different stones, precious stones that were his covering on the day that he was created.
A onda se opisuje drago kamenje koje ga je pokrivalo kad je stvoren.
So this is before Lucifer sinned.
Ovo je bilo pre nego što je Lucifer pao u greh.
He was in Eden, the garden of God.
On je bio u Edemu, vrtu Božjem.
Where is that Eden then?
Gde je taj sad vrt?
Can that be talking about the earthly garden of Eden?
Je to zemaljski Edem?
Was Lucifer in the earthly garden of Eden before he sinned?
Jer Lucifer bio u zemaljskom Edemu?
No. It was after he was expelled from heaven that he was cast down to this earth.
Ne, on je na zemlju zbačen tek nakon što je izbačen s neba.
That means then that there is a heavenly Eden.
To znači da ima i nebeski Edem.
Just as the first sanctuary on this earth was a garden,
Kao što je prva svetinja na ovom svetu bila vrt,
so this text hints at the fact that the heavenly sanctuary, whatever else it may be, it also involves a garden.
dakle i nebeska svetinja gde god daje, uključuje i nekakav vrt.
And there in this first sanctuary
I evo,
was this anointed cherub who covers.
tu u toj prvoj svetinji postoje neki pomazan heruvim koji zaklanja.
When we talk about an anointed covering cherub, where are we in the sanctuary?
Kad govorimo o pomazanom heruvimu, gde smo mi tu u svetinji? U kom delu? The most holy place.
The most holy
U
place.
svetinji
That's
nad
right.
svetinjama, tačno.
So here we have this perfect being that
Imamo-
is covering, serving the function of a covering cherub in the Holy of Holies of the heavenly sanctuary.
Tu imamo, dakle, heruvima zaklanjača koji je služio kao heruvim u svetinji nad svetinjama, zaklanjao je.
And how else is this sanctuary in heaven described?
Kako je još opisana ova nebeska
The next
svetinja?
line says, "You were on the holy mountain of God."
Piše da je bio na svetoj gori Božje.
The holy mountain of God is the
Sveta
language
gora
for the
Božja.
heavenly sanctuary.
To je jezik nebeske svetinje.
I have a friend at Andrews University who worked as a missionary in China for many years.
Imam prijatelja koji je mnogo godina radio kao misionar u Kini.
She was a physician there by the name of Ethel Nelson.
Bila je doktor tamo, zvala se Ethel Nelson.
And in her spare time, she studied the ancient Chinese characters.
U slobodno vreme proučavala je kineske simbole,
The very oldest ones of existence.
najstarije simbole.
And she has written up her findings in several books.
Napisala je tvoje otkriće u nekoliko knjiga.
She co-authored these with a Chinese linguist.
Bila je koautor sa još jednim kineskim lingvistom.
And it has descriptions of the first man and woman, Adam and Eve,
I tu
in a
ima opis
garden.
Adama i Eve
In a garden,
u vrtu.
and the garden has a mountain
A
in the
vrt ima
garden.
neku planinu u vrtu.
And I've often wondered when I've read Genesis 1 and 2, how could the rivers flow in 4 different directions from the garden?
Uvijek sam se pitao kako to 4 reke idu u 4 različita smera iz vrta.
She says that's simple. There was a mountain there.
To je lako, kaže ona, pa bila
And
je
it is
gora.
flowing down from the mountain
Iz te
4
gore
different
jednostavno
directions.
sklizile su reke sa gore.
And these ancient Chinese characters, I won't go into details, but
Neću ići u detalje o ovim kineskim simbolima, ali
they seem to represent memories of the original plan of salvation that the Chinese have.
izgleda kao da su to podsjećanja na plan spasenja koji su Kinezi poznavali od početka.
And one of the memories is of this mountain, holy mountain of God
Jedno
on
od
earth,
tih prisjećanja je ova sveta gora,
which parallels the holy mountain of God in the heavenly realm.
na zemlji, to je kopija one nebeske svete gore.
What was the function of this sanctuary?
Šta je bila funkcija ove svetinje?
Even before sin.
Čak i pre greha.
It wasn't to solve the sin problem if there was no sin problem.
Očigledno nije bilo za rešavanje problema greha, nije bilo greha. Relationship, he says.
Okay, relationship. Give me some biblical evidence.
Dajte mi biblijske dokaze. First, Genesis 3.
Okay, already in Genesis 3, it's where God and Adam and Eve meet together, isn't it?
Da,
Yes.
Bog i Adam i Eva se susreću tamo zajedno.
How about the heavenly sanctuary? Evidence for relationship there.
Job.
Okay, Job 1 and 2, but that's after sin.
To je posle pada u greh. Hajde
But
pre
it
pada u greh.
gives us a picture of
Ali
the
daje nam
people
sliku.
coming together, gather together.
Daj nam sliku.
My brother back here mentioned the other text, Isaiah 14.
Brat tamo iza je spomenuo i Isaiju 14.
Let's go there to that one next.
Hajde tamo da odemo.
Remember, here we hear of the holy mountain of God, but it doesn't tell us the function for this mountain. Now when we go to
Tu se
Isaiah 14,
spominje Gora u Ezekilju, ali nam ne daje funkciju ta gora. Koju ulogu imala? Nego
we actually see the function of this mountain,
Isaiji 14 ćemo vidjeti tu funkciju.
this sanctuary mountain. Verse 13.
13. stih.
Again, chapter 14 of Isaiah is in a chiastic structure with the middle part taking us from the earthly to heavenly realm.
Opet je 14. glava Isaiju u hijazmu i centralni deo nas vodi od zemlje ka nebu.
Verse 12. How are you fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?
Kako pade s neba zvezdo danice?
So here's the name of this being there.
Tu je ime tog bića.
Now, verse 13, here were the aspirations he had as he was contemplating rebelling against God.
Evo namere koje je imao kada se pobunio protiv Boga.
You have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars
Govorio
of
se u
God.
srcu svom, izaći ću na nebo, više zvezda Božih.
Now, notice this next line. I will sit on the mount of the congregation.
I sešću na gori zbornoj.
Does it say that same idea there? Okay. So what is the purpose of this mountain?
Šta je svrha te gore?
It's where the unfallen universe gathered, congregated to worship, to relate to their God.
Pre pada u greh, dakle, svrha te gore bila je skup, zbor svih onih koji nisu pali, bića, da obožavaju Boga.
If you want technical theological terms to apply to this,
Ako hoćete tehnički, teološki termin za ovo,
soteriology, you're acquainted with that word?
soteriologija, znate šta je?
Doctrine of salvation. Before soteriology,
Pre soteriologije
in the sanctuary,
u svetinji
there was doxology,
je doksologija,
praise.
slava.
The original purpose of the sanctuary was a
Prvobitna svrha
place
svetinje
where God's creatures could come to praise Him, to worship Him, to gather,
je bilo da su bića dolazila da ga slave,
to sing doxologies to
da
Him.
pevaju doksologiju.
How far back can you trace this sanctuary?
Koliko možemo daleko ići u prošlost kad je u pitanju ova
I want
svetinja?
to push you as far as we can go.
Hoću da vas primoram da razmišljate što više može, dakle, što dalje.
Now this is tough for us because we are finite beings, and
Teško
to
je,
try
mi
to go back into infinity is difficult.
Teško je, mi smo ograničena biće. Kako u neograničenost da idemo?
But how far can you go back and there's still a sanctuary?
Koliko daleko da idemo nazad u prošlost, a da još uvijek postoji svetinja?
And give me a text.
I dajte mi tekst. Genesis 1:26.
Okay, so you're only going to the beginning of this earth? It doesn't go back before that?
Znači, za tebe samo od ove zemlje počinje, ne ide iza.
I think Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 28 go back even earlier than Genesis 1.
Dakle, vidjeli smo da Isaija 14 i Ezekija 28 idu i dalje od 1. Mojsijeve 1.
There's a text that I found that I have rarely heard used with the doctrine of the sanctuary, but I think it's one of the most powerful ones.
Jedan od najmoćnijih tekstova koje retko čujem kad je u pitanju doktrina o svetinji.
Let's see if we have it the same in English and in Serbian. Jeremiah chapter 17
Jeremija 17
and verse 12.
12. stih.
Jeremiah 17:12.
17:12.
A glorious high throne from the beginning is the place of our sanctuary.
Mesto je svetinje naše, presto slave, visoko mesto od početka.
Does it give the same idea? Okay.
Just the wording is different.
Yeah, okay. So here is this glorious high throne. This cannot be the earthly sanctuary. It is the heavenly sanctuary.
Ako je reč o prestolu slave visoko, onda to nije zemaljska svetinja, to je nebeska.
And it says this was in existence from the beginning. Me rishon in Hebrew.
I onda kaže u jevrejskom, dakle, da je to od početka.
So even before the plan of salvation was functioning,
Čak i pre funkcije plana spasenja.
from the very beginning, from the very time when God first created beings,
Od samog početka, pre nego što je Bog stvarao, kad je stvarao prva bića,
there was this high throne,
Već je
this
postojao-
mountain of the assembly.
gora zborna je postojala, visoki presto.
The word in the Old Testament for temple is igal.
Jevrejska reč za hram je egal,
This is a Sumerian word,
to je sumerska reč.
and it comes into Hebrew as hekal.
Hekal je postala u jevrejskom, u formi hekal.
But the original Sumerian word and also the Hebrew word literally means great house.
Doslovno sumerska i jevrejska reč znači veliki dom, velika kuća.
The sanctuary is basically God's house.
Svetinja je dakle Božji dom, Božja kuća.
It's his home, it's where he lives.
Tu on živi, to je dom njegov.
And he invites his creatures to
A
come
sva
to his
stvorenja
house.
poziva u
for
svoj dom
fellowship.
na zajedništvo, na druženje.
Now, a house, when it's the house of a king, becomes a palace.
Tako, na primjer, ako dom cara ima funkciju palate. Dakle, to je
And
palata.
when that king is also God, a palace becomes a sanctuary.
A ako je taj car Bog, onda palata postaje svetilište, svetinja.
But ultimately, a sanctuary, a temple, is the place where God lives.
U krajnjoj liniji to je mesto gdje Bog živi.
Now, I wish I had my colleague with me today from Andrews University who could give you a much better lecture that I'm going to give in this next 5 minutes.
Voleo bih kad bi sa mnom sada bio moj kolega sa Andrewsa koji bi vam mnogo bolju lekciju dao ovom u sljedećih 5 minuta.
Because he has devoted his life to understanding this part of the sanctuary.
Jer je on čitav svoj život posvetio izučavanju ovog dela doktrine o svetinji.
His name is Fernando Canale.
To je Canale, Fernando Canale.
Did you have a class from Canale?
Yes, he was my mentor.
Okay, good. Well, then you know more about this than I do.
Yes. Rekao sam da je Canale bio moj mentor.
He
Inače, on
teaches systematic theology.
on sistematsku teologiju predaje na
He was
engleskom.
trained in philosophy in Catholic universities
Dakle,
in South
on
America.
je treniran u filozofiji, poreklom iz katolicizma, dakle, i završio na katoličkom.
And I have him come and lecture in our sanctuary class every year.
Svake godine dođe i on, pa ispredaje jedan deo doktrine o svetinji.
Because I believe the issue of the sanctuary is much more profound than we have ever dreamed of.
Jer smatram da je problem svetinje mnogo dublji nego što smo ikada i sanjali.
Our role as Seventh-day Adventists is not just to teach about the investigative judgment that started in 1844.
Naša uloga kao adventista nije samo da govorimo o istražnom sudu iz 1844.
Now, I believe that part of the sanctuary message,
Ja verujem u taj deo poruke o svetinji.
and we're going to spend plenty of time on that.
Dosta vremena ćemo tu provesti.
But I believe there is something even more fundamental than that.
Ali ja verujem da postoji nešto i mnogo temeljnije od toga.
Dr. Canale's special subdiscipline is called fundamental theology.
Njegova Canaleova specijalna poddisciplina teologije je i fundamentalna teologija.
This means you study, as he puts it, the thinking behind the thinking.
To je misao iza misli.
Now, if you've taken philosophy from my brother Alexander here,
Ako ste uzeli filozofiju od profesora,
then you've probably already been introduced to this part that
verovatno
I'm going
već
to
to
say.
poznajete.
Dr. Canale has pointed out that the entire Christian system today is built upon a Greek foundation.
Kanale ističe da je čitav hrišćanski sistem sazdan na grčkom načinu razmišljanja.
It is the system of Plato.
To je Platonov sistem.
It is a system of Platonic dualism,
To je platonistički dualizam.
in which the only thing real are these abstract ideas up here.
Jedino stvarno u platonizmu su te apstraktne ideje.
These are the only thing that is eternal.
To je stvarno večno.
And that which is related to the things you can touch and you can handle is less real and not eternal.
A ono što je materijalno opipljivo je manje realno.
And God only lives in this realm.
A Bog živi u tom gornjem carstvu.
God is above time and space.
On je iznad vremena i prostora.
In fact, he cannot come down into time and space
On ne može ni ući u vreme i prostor,
because he is essentially timeless.
jer je izvan vremena.
Therefore, he cannot live in a place.
Ne može on živjeti na nekom mestu.
He cannot experience time.
Ne može on da iskusi protok vremena.
And this whole Platonic system was incorporated into Catholic theology in the early centuries.
A platonistički sistem je inkorporiran u rimokatoličku teologiju još od prvih vekova.
And when Martin Luther started the Reformation and the other reformers
A kada je Luter otpočeo reformaciju i drugi reformatori,
recovered justification by faith
otkrivši opravdanje verom
and other gospel truths,
i druge evanđelske istine,
sola scriptura, the Bible and the Bible,
sola skriptura, Biblija, samo Biblija,
they never changed the basic foundation for thinking.
nikada oni nisu promenili osnove takvog razmišljanja.
And so the Protestant churches today and the modernist churches today all still have this foundation that is built upon a timeless God.
Tako da savremene protestantske crkve, protestantizam, još uvijek imaju temelj tog Boga koji je izvan vremena.
And the doctrine of the sanctuary as taught in the Bible strikes at the very root of that error.
A doktrina o svetinji, onako kako je opisana u Bibliji, zaseca duboko u korene te teorije.
Because the Bible teaches that God, though he, yes, can live above space and above
Jer
time,
Biblija kaže da jako Bog živi izvan vremena i prostora,
for the sake of his creatures, he chooses and he is well able to come down into space and time.
jer zbog svojih stvorenja on ipak može doći u vreme i prostor.
In fact, there is a real place in heaven where God lives and invites his creatures to come and fellowship with him.
U stvari, postoji stvarno mesto u svemiru u koje Bog ljude poziva da imaju zajednicu.
That is unthinkable
To je nezamislivo
for a Platonic thinker.
za platonističkog mislioca.
That is unthinkable for an Orthodox theologian or a Catholic theologian or a Lutheran theologian or any other Christian
To je
theologian.
nezamislivo za jednog pravoslavnog, katoličkog ili luteranskog teologa.
And so God is inviting the Adventist church to strip away the entire wreckage of philosophical foundations for theology that have been going for 2000 years.
Tako da Bog poziva adventni pokret da sruši temelje svega onog što je bila tradicija filozofska.
It's not just about teaching 1844.
Nije to samo 1844.
It's about teaching the whole picture of what is God like.
To je cela slika Boga. Ko je Bog?
And God wants us to share with the world a radical return to the biblical understanding of himself.
A Bog želi da se vratimo tom biblijskom razumevanju njega samog.
And we find that in the doctrine of the sanctuary.
A to pronalazimo u doktrini o svetinji.
There we find that God actually lives in a place in heaven.
Tu pronalazimo da Bog u stvarnosti živi u mestu na nebu.
That's a scandal to my Protestant friends.
To je skandal za moje prijatelje i protestante.
And it's a scandal to some of my Adventist friends
A to je skandal i za neke moje adventističke prijatelje,
who have bought into this Platonic dualistic way of thinking.
koji su prihvatili platonistički način razmišljanja.
I believe this lies at the foundation of why some Adventists have rejected the sanctuary message.
Smatram da je ovo temelj odbacivanja nekih adventista.
Because
Dakle, poruke o svetinji.
unknowingly they are building upon a Platonic foundation rather than a biblical foundation.
Nesvesno oni su izgrađivali svoj sistem na platonističkim temeljima, a ne biblijskim.
And it should be the joy of us as Seventh-day Adventists to restore for the first time in almost 2000 years the correct understanding of God.
I za nas adventiste to bi trebalo da bude posebna radost, da posle 2000 godina ove tradicije mi obnavljamo ispravnu sliku Boga.
That's quite a challenge.
To je baš izazov.
That's quite a privilege.
To je i prednost.
That's one of the reasons why I believe the sanctuary doctrine is so crucial today.
Zato ja verujem da je danas ova istina o svetinji tako važna.
Because the very nature of God is at stake in us understanding this doctrine.
Jer je sama Božja priroda, problematika je same Božje prirode u ovoj istini.
Now I'm going to give you one more 10-minute break.
Daću vam još jednu pauzu 10 minuta.
And then I have about maybe 20 more minutes to actually lecture, and then the rest of the time we can spend for questions.
Sljedeći sat, 20 minuta predavanja, ostatak sata će biti za pitanje i odgovore.